Good afternoon, everybody. It is Jeannie Fisher, a senior 401k advisor and certified financial planner with Argy, and we are still in our Analyzing Your Plan Fees series. This is the fourth video. If you remember the last video, I talked about revenue sharing between mutual funds and advisors, and in this video, we're still talking about revenue sharing, only this time it's a different kind. This time it's between the record keeper and the TPA. And if you've followed these videos, you've heard me talk about different service providers and the fact that you may have what is called an unbundled plan. If your plan is unbundled, you have two different companies, one serving as the record keeper and one doing the compliance work as the TPA. Now, I'm a little bit more okay with this type of revenue sharing than I was about the last for a couple of reasons. First off, if your plan is unbundled, then you really do have the record keeper outsourcing compliance to another company. So what you're looking for is for the record keeper to actually reduce their fee. And if they don't, it actually does make sense for them to share some of that revenue with the company that's doing the work. So that makes a little bit more sense. Now, how this is structured can actually vary a whole lot. Different TPAs will quote based on revenue sharing in many different ways. So, for example, some TPAs might actually quote lower with just the understanding that they'll be getting revenue sharing, and they're not actually accounting for what that revenue sharing will be. Some TPAs will give you a stated fee and then actually show the revenue sharing offset. That tends to be my favorite way to see it. I think from a committee perspective, from an advisor perspective, it's a whole lot easier to benchmark plan fees and understand exactly what your service providers are being paid if there's a stated fee, and then you can see the revenue offset. So what that would look like is your TPA says, you know, our fee is $10,000. We're getting $7,000 from the record keeper, thus you owe us $3,000. That tends to be the most transparent, but honestly, it's really hard for TPAs to track that. It requires a lot of internal accounting and human hours. So I understand why that's not often built in, but that is my favorite way to see it. What you want to do as a plan sponsor as you evaluate your plan fees is just make sure that you understand who is being paid what. Even if it's not a stated fee, you can go back after the fact and see what the revenue sharing is. You want to make sure that you don't underestimate your TPA's fees, but you also don't want to overestimate them. They're a service provider just like all other service providers, and if the fees are being paid from the plan, you want to make sure you have a clear understanding of what they're being paid for the services that are being provided. So again, it's a little bit, I can understand this type of revenue sharing in your plan a little bit more than I can the funds and between funds and advisors. What's important to me is that you are keeping your thumb on it. Where we see excessive advisory fees are from 401k plans that didn't have a stated fee, and the plan has grown and the revenue sharing has grown, and because you don't really, you're not really tracking it from a dollar perspective, it's hard to keep your thumb on it, and that's where we're seeing excessive advisory fees, and I think there's the potential for there to be excessive TPA fees, again, if we're not properly monitoring what our service providers are being paid. So how do we monitor this? The next video, I'm going to talk through what fee disclosures we look for and how we read them so we can actually identify who's getting paid what. So that's video number 4 in the Plan Fee series. I hope you guys took something from it, and we'll talk to you soon.